Okay, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Miss Chantell Talk. Y'all know what I'm doing right quick, checking my audio. Wait a minute, I don't see the live. Okay. Hmm. All right, here we go. Come on, I don't hear anything. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Oh, come on now. Testing, testing. All right, that sounds pretty good. Let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna turn it up a little bit. Turn the mic up an inch. Yes, indeed. I hope you guys are doing good tonight. Yes, Miss Chantel is having a wonderful, blessed night. Thank you. Back at you again to talk about some things with the ethnic Black American family. I've been hearing some interesting things online. Let me turn this down. This sounds loud. Yeah, I've been hearing some interesting conversations online lately. You know, as I'm out and about doing what I gotta do or whatever, sometimes I'm trained in listening. And it's been very interesting. A lot of craziness going on. Listen, with these YouTube fake fights, I wouldn't say they're YouTube fake fights. What they are, I don't know. It's not YouTube. They put them on YouTube, but I don't know who sponsored these fights. Like the latest one was with Ray J, and I believe the African guy that was one of them too. Where they have these fake fights with Jake Paul, the African guy with Jake Paul, and also recently also what's her name, Krishan Rock, completely fake. You can go and watch the knockout, completely fake, and it's interesting. It's funny as well because I'm like, what is going on with all these fake fights? I'm like, listen, if they paying me pretty good to fake fight, yes, I'll do it. Excuse me, my allergies is. Oof. Yeah, it's been interesting. But anyways, I want to touch upon some stuff I heard on the YouTube streets, and I'm gonna try to go straight into my points because I don't want to lollygag all the way up until the point. I'm gonna just go straight into my topics. But first, I want to do a recap of the last video because I'm gonna take that video down. It was kind of like a drag all the way, a long drag until you get into the top, till I got into the topic. So I don't want to be doing that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna recap that real quick. And the first thing about that previous live that I did, I want to recap, is about the Garvey hype. Hold on. Yeah, it's about the Garvey hype. And no disrespect, this is Miss Chantell opinion. Um, as I said in the previous video, Garvey did not, because these people constantly bring him up. They Garveyites. You got to understand who they are. They're Garveyites. Pan Africans are Garveyites, especially the ones from the Caribbean. And so he didn't bring anything creative, unique, nor original to Black America, the Negro Americans. He didn't bring any creativeness or uniqueness or originality to us as a people here to influence us. He did not have any influence on us, but we had influence on him and his country people. Even as time went on, we continued to influence them. They never influenced us. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes they'll throw a little twister in there and be like, well, Black Americans, some of them speak patois and they do this and that. No. That's not Black Americans, sweetheart. That's not ethnic Black Americans. That's Jamaicans in disguise of Black Americans. That's what that is. Actual ethnic Black Americans never had anything of influence from Jamaica or any island area. It's never been done. Okay, we no. So anyway, back to the Garvey thing. He didn't bring any creativeness, any uniqueness, nor originality to our people. He arrived in 1916, and when he came, he was already influenced by Booker T. Okay, Frederick Douglass. He was already highly influenced by Frederick Douglass. When he got here, his whole obsession was Frederick Douglass. He modeled everything about his institutions and everything just like Frederick Douglass did his thing. Yeah. Everything he had in mind to do was a copy of Frederick Douglass. Yeah. He was highly influenced by ethnic Black Americans, way back American Negroes. All right. When he arrived, the American Negro people already had everything popping and happening, and everything was already popping and happening. We already had buku newspapers that existed. He wasn't the first. We had buku Black-owned businesses throughout our communities in different parts of the country. He wasn't the first. They had built schools and had established schoolhouses and churches and political organizations since way in the 1800s. They had established Black towns, mutual aid societies, and mass movements. Hold on. Our people always moved in mass. They had no choice if they wanted to survive back in those days. They had to always be close knit, gathered together, and come together real quick for survival purposes. They had to stick close with each other. So our people been moving in mass way before that guy touched the American soil. Okay, the enterprise of Black America had already existed. Period, point blank. He didn't bring anything creative, unique, or original to our people in America. You understand what I'm saying? Let it go to the dirt. He didn't, it was no inspiration there from him. Okay? He was inspired by Frederick Douglass, heavily, obsessed like. copied everything about him. Okay? He did not come to America, Black America, and put the idea of Pan Africanism in people's mind. Pan Africanism had already existed before he arrived in America. People had already gone to so called motherland. They had already been traveling over there to Africa. They had people already promoting black love, black identity, African identity, pride. That was already being promoted. They had people already on that way before Garvey arrived in America. They were already pushing that ideology. Okay? So he didn't bring Pan Africanism to Black Americans. Um, he didn't bring black pride concerning our identity. That was hopping and popping way before he got here to America. You understand what I'm saying? Listen, even his style, how he spoke, he copied the speech rhythmic pattern of Black American Negro men. You know, like the Martin Luther King speech pattern that existed even before the rhythmic, soulful, and I, you know how they speak and preach. He even copied that down to his speech style from our people. Come on now, let's be real, baby. Let's be real. I don't want to sound all messy, but listen, he ain't contribute nothing to us. You know what I'm saying? He was a latch and copy artist. You know how they latch on to somebody from America and they copy everything about them. That's how you have a lot of the rappers today and artists today that's from the islands in Africa. They latch and copy artists. That's all they are. They don't bring influence to us. They get influenced by us to the point of obsession. To the point they can do it just like we do it. You understand what I'm saying? We not only studied heavily by other races of people, but by other melanated people as well. Remember that. All right, so this is my recap because I'm taking the other video down. Be patient with me real quick. I'm going through it fast. Was Garvey the first to? Well, I talked about that. He wasn't the first to bring African identity, pride to our people. They had people already promoting that in America. They had people already promoting Pan-African ideology in America, connecting us with the so-called motherland. They already had people. He sure didn't bring resistance to our people. You know that ain't true because our people been resisting way before. What? Oh, child. Let's see. Did he bring our people together in mass? Hell no. That been in existence. Our people survived that way. There was no survival if they wouldn't have been moving in mass. Hello. Our people been had a whole Black American enterprise, Negro American enterprise going on, towns and everything. I mean, the foolery of these people by saying this man influenced us in any kinds of ways is just stupidity. It's pure stupidity. Because when he came, everything was already happening. He brought nothing new, nothing original, nothing creative, nothing unique. He actually copied us. Now, why is he so heavily promoted or pushed as the first Pan-African movement or something in America? I have no idea. But I can tell you what I'm speculating. You know, here's what I say to that. Pan-Africans, as I always say, They are in cahoots with the white tea people. The white tea people wanted our people out of here too. At the same time they was trying to ship our people out, they were shipping in black immigrants. What? Then on top of that, you had black immigrants, Pan Africans, promoting, and some of our people at the time thought it was a good idea too, but very few, not all, very few, were promoting Pan Africanism back to Africa, back home. Who the fuck want to go back home to a place where they sold you, kidnapped you, slash, killed your family, ripped you apart from your family, and sold you into slavery 400 years? And you talking about you want to go back around such people? Anyways, um, all of that stuff was already happening in America. So the hype of Garvey is the hype of Garvey is the Garvites. All right. Um, like I said, they were in cahoots with the white tea people to help push us out of America. Yeah, they had the same goals. The white tea people had the goal to get us American Negroes out of America before we take over, because we was building, building, building. Phew. And they used the Caribbeans and Africans to promote Pan Africanism to get us out of the country. Same people, I mean, the same goals as the white tea people. Do you see what I'm saying? They had the same goals as the white tea people, so why wouldn't you think they was in cahoots together? Of course they are. The white tea people hired them to spy on us. That's how they got all this information about our people movements in the 60s and 70s and stuff, because they had the Caribbeans and Africans spying on them, pretending to be their brothers and stuff, spying on them. They did not know that these people was working against them. This is a recap real quick. So I always tell y'all these people are dangerously tribal, and people still don't get when I say dangerously tribal. Y'all motherfuckers better wake up to who these people are. They mental. I mean, take everything for a joke. That's one thing I don't like about my people. To not all of them, but some of y'all take things too lightly. You take stuff too lightly. I was told a long time ago, when you see somebody crazy, mental come out, get the fuck away from them. I don't play that. When I see mental, I'm like, oh, move away and protect. But some people, they see a person just acting out, they don't take it serious, you know. Y'all better recognize where those people come from, the type of atmosphere they come from. You understand what I'm saying? So let's put that down to the dirt. That garbage shit is nothing but pure foolery. The hype of it is just Garveyites trying to keep Pan Africanism alive. See, so they even mention Garvey. I mean, it's a total like joke. It's almost equivalent to saying Barack Obama is the first as the first black American president. He may be an African American president, but he damn sure ain't the first black American, Negro American president. Okay? We have never had a president come from our lineage in this country. That man is not of our people. Okay? And that's another example to why we can't trust people who is married into bi-ethnic people and biracials as well. Like by ethnic people and interracial as well because they compromised. If you sitting at the table trying to plot for your people's survival, these are people that that have a what I call it bridge mentality. They feel like not all white people is bad because that's their loved ones, right? So they gonna be like, honey, you got it all twisted. Not all white people is bad. My dad or my mom is white, or not all Jamaicans or Caribbeans is on that crazy stuff because they married into that Caribbean family and may have bi-ethnic kids. And we understand that it's not all white people or Caribbeans or Africans that's against us. We understand that. But as a collective, we have to understand how to move. And as a collective, we have to understand how to be about ours. Do you understand? Because you would never be able to go to biracials and interracial families, not biracials, but interracial families would never be able to sit at the table with white people when it comes to them setting up survival tactics in America. You see how they do the Myron Gaines and the Candace Owens and all of them? Oh, we're down with you guys and we're all for you. We got to get rid of the Negroes in America today because they're ruining America. But here, the white tea guy that was, the CK guy that was off, they, look at them. They was not even invited to his homegoing. The Myron Gaines guy went to an event and they didn't allow him in. White tea people is not going to allow you to come in and sit at their table to give your outside opinion. How stupid would that be? They're sitting up here at the round table figuring out how the people, how their communities survive in America and so forth, their women, children, and men, and they let interracial families come in and have say so. That's kind of stupid because you know what's going to happen, right? They're going to say, oh, you guys are racist. You're being racist towards the blacks. Well, first of all, why are you there? These are white tea people discussing their survival tactics. Why the hell would you include yourself? It's the same thing if there was if a bunch of Jamaicans were to sit at the table and say, okay, we got reparations, let's see how this gonna work for us. And here in the door comes Jamaicans that's in by ethnic marriages or, you know, by ethnic families and they sit at the table and they go, well, hold on now. What about my bi-ethnic children? They have FBA and my wife is FBA. Oh, there's gonna be a problem. The Jamaicans gonna be looking like, what the fuck do they have to do with what we got going on here? What are you doing? You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing with ethnic black Americans. We can't afford to have bi-ethnics and interracial families at the table when you're sitting at the table plotting survival tactics for our men, women, and children. We can't afford to have them at the table compromised, which means they're gonna be sitting up here going, what about my Jamaican children? What about my biracial children? What they saying about them? This is about us. Why the fuck are you at the table anyways? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying when I say they compromise. Just like back to the Michelle and Barack Obama. He was able to come in to America, didn't grow up around any black Americans or anything like that, don't know the culture, grew up in Hawaii with his white parent and grandparents. And they did indeed tell him to leave black people alone. Yes, they did. He wrote about it in his book that his grandparents told him not to mess with black people. They were going to ruin his life. They told that to his mother as well. It's in his book. And when he grew up, he wanted to run for president. And the easiest way to get there as a dark skinned man like himself was via black Americans. At that time, our people was welcoming. They were still on the flat black, you know, and they welcomed him in as a black man, black American actually. And not only that, we mainly went out and supported this man heavily, heavily supporting him, simply because he had a black American wife and children. Hell yeah, that's why I voted for him. I would, if he would have had a white wife or Chinese or something, you think I would have went and voted for him? Hell no. Are you crazy? No. we talking about people who never voted, went out and voted for this man because he had Michelle and the girls and grandma. He had a black American family. He knew what he was doing. Yeah, he knew what he was doing. He not only had a black American family, but listen, he had whole black American support he had garnered from a community. He went in a community like he cared, rolled up his sleeves. Yeah, we're here to stand on justice and all that old bullshit. He mainly garnered towards the women. Yeah, yes he did. Yes he did. He went towards our elder women and single mothers. That's where he mainly got the support from. Our elders and single mothers of the community, which was a lot. You see, when you don't protect your community, black American men, anybody can come in. Period. Y'all do know that guy who shot Trayvon. That guy used to volunteer in our community, but you know what it was about. You know how they send all the white people in our community talk about going to low income communities, and we'll knock off some of your if you volunteer out there a couple of weeks, we'll knock off some of your financial, your school debt. See, when you don't protect your communities, all kind of people come in your communities. That go for you too, black American women. But if men consider themselves men and leaders, I say men. Hold on, let me pause this. I have to sneeze. Yes, indeed. So, um, he was able to move in and finesse the people because he had a woman that was our peer, our community peer, our fellow sister, whom he was connected to marriage and children. So of course we went out there and voted for him heavily. But we found out the true heart because in the end, when his terms were over, he didn't return to the very community that supported him. He didn't return to show them love. You understand? He supposedly was supposed to open up some boy group or something. That shit never came about. I'm like, oh my gosh. So that's what I'm saying when I say, um, when we're sitting at the table to establish survival tactics in America for our men, women, and children, we can't afford to allow bi ethnics and bi interracial families to be at the table. So, people get offended by that, but it's nothing to be offended by. It's actually people survival tactics. You understand what I'm saying? And some people may say, well, where does the interracial families and bi ethnic families of people fall in? They fall in under their own category. They can establish the same thing. They can come to the table as well and be like, okay, we talking survival tactics. And unfortunately, it's unfortunate because you know what? All of this bullshit, the systems and the caste systems and stuff, I don't like. I don't like it. But it's a survival tactic that we live in under the system right now. And we have to play the game smart. You understand what I'm saying? It's not a I hate you game, it's a survival game. You see? We can't afford to let somebody come and rule over us that's not of us. That's not making sense. It's not making any sense. I cannot represent biracial people nor bi ethnic people because both my parents is full blood ethnic Black Americans. I can't represent people who have bi ethnic parents. I can't represent people who have a parent of a different race. I can't speak for them in this society. What it's like for them, or what it's like for them, or what it's like for them. And people need to learn their places. You understand what I'm saying? They wouldn't let you rule over them because you're not one of them, but they want to rule over you because American blacks have been exploited a very long time. A very long time. And people still want to have access to us, period. Like lost sheep. They treat us like lost sheep. Yeah, even the melanated people. They all take us for one big joke because we've lost our unity in it all. That is how the white people keep our people down. They divided them all type from all different angles. Interracial marriage promotion, by ethnic promotion, just coming in our community, identifying as us, and at the same time misrepresenting us by spreading passport brother type of crap. Move out the country, abandon your children, your wives, and your families here, and just leave the country and go marry elsewhere, as though the women in the other countries are any better. They're actually worse. Abandon your families and just move to Africa, Pan Africa, back to Africa. Well, bitch, why are you sitting here in America? Anytime people saying that, they have identified as our people, and they are heavily misrepresenting our men and women. And we at the point now where we shutting them down. We find out who they really are and shut them down. They get the cosplaying label real quick. So anyway, let me go a little faster because I say I was going into I was just doing a recap of this stuff. Africans and Caribbeans and politics. Woo-wee. Let me tell you something. They used to be able to do that, as I was just talking about Barack. But after the Barack situation, it was like all eyes open. We realized that these MFers are playing in our faces, disrespecting us, misrepresenting us, and taking us for a big joke. So after the Barack Obama scheme of things, we shut that down. Very good. And now it's hard for anybody to cosplay. Kamala tried to do it, it didn't work. Everybody that try to do it nowadays is shut down. What was the guy who was like, my mother don't qualify to get reparations, so why would I promote it? It's shut down. So, anyways, that's a good thing. It's all being shut down. And listen, when you get online and you talk about stuff, it's going to reach the offline as well. I don't know why people don't think it's not going to get offline. It's naturally it's going to reach offline population, and it's going to reach even media. The media who is so dramatic they need something to talk about. It's going to reach around the world. It becomes topics of discussion. So topics of discussion is who's cosplaying now? Are you really ethnic Black American, or are you an African? Or even the president is showing that. The president is he's making it well known that he understands the difference between ethnic Black Americans and immigrants. He made it a point to get on his podium and say ethnic Black Americans are warriors and we've contributed greatly to this country and so forth. He was not speaking about Black people. He was speaking about a particular group of people, not Black people. He was speaking about ethnic Black Americans. And the only people that's Black Americans is Negro Americans. Anybody who have lineage from outside of America is not a Black American, ethnic Black American. We know this. But the games is coming to a halt. Let me hurry up. The games is coming to a halt, baby, quick and fast. And that's a wonderful thing because these people truly take us for a joke. They are disrespectful and disgusting. They have disgusting behavior. Okay, let me hurry up through this recap. So, I was talking about them surviving in politics. It ain't happening. Since we own that now, it's not happening, sweetheart. They're not going to be able to use our ancestors and, hold on. They're not going to be able to be like, oh, we Black people, we shutting that shit down left and right, okay? Up and down, left and right, upside down, around and round. Listen, they're not going to be able to run on anything because they have to have a population that they're representing. And if they're not representing us and they got some votes because they had some shady, gritty shit deals or whatever going on with some white tea people that put them in office, they still not going to be our representative. Because let me tell you, when we get back into our unity space, trust and believe. If you want to survive it all, ethnic Black Americans, you have to get unified again. And I'm not talking about with people. I ain't talking about with people that's on that bi-ethnic, biracial shit. I'm not on that. On that. You understand what I'm saying? Because they cannot represent us as a people, and we can't represent them. When we find our unity again, which is coming, fast. That's when you're going to see the excel in ethnic black American progress in America. In the Bible, y'all know I always touch up on some biblical things, and in the Bible, it clearly tells you at the Tower of Babel story, God say these people can do anything they put their mind to because they are what? Unified. They can do anything they put their mind to because they are what? Unified. Unity equals power, baby. Listen, you're never a threat when you're not unified and you're just talking up a storm. Whatever. Whatever. I say your shit. Whatever. But the only time the people in power gonna be threatened is when they see you have unified. You know, let's bring that up. Because Tupac, right? This young man garnered so much fan followings around the world. People rapping. I mean, people who did not speak English was hardcore fanatics of his. When this man was gathering too much of a following, and he started rapping about follow me, run with me. Ooh, listen. That was a threat. You see. So people who ain't unified, who ain't promoting unity, who ain't trying to click up with like-minded people in collective groups, your talk is just talk. That's all it is. It's just talk. Okay? But it's when you begin to unify. You remember the Million Man March, right? Oh, whoa. ain't no million men showed up. I don't know why I be hearing people say a million men showed up. It was not a million men. Listen. They were so threatened by the ethnic black Americans unifying that they moved the president out the White House during the Million Man March. What? These men are unarmed, gathering together for a march, and they felt threatened by that. To the point they moved the president out of the White House. They're only threatened by unity, nothing else. Yeah. So again, for all the vote this, vote that, it's just bullshit. For all the black power this, black power that, it's bullshit. All of it's BS until you are unified again. You understand what I'm saying? None of it matters until you're unified again. None of it matters. Doesn't even matter. Because the only threat you can kick up is unity. Okay? Unity equals power. Let me see what else I want. Oh, here was my interesting topic right here. I ain't get to talk about this as much. This is my last recap, and I'm going to go into what I want to talk about tonight. But on that last video, I'm going to take that down. The previous video, that's why I'm recapping real quick. But listen, on a previous video, I asked the question, if you're African, how are you African? Right? And this is posed, of course, to ethnic black Americans. If you're ethnic, I mean, if you're African, how are you African? Tell me how you African. Are you African by race? Are you African by ethnicity or tribe? Are you African by nationality, or are you African by continental origin? Answer me, please. Because let me give you my breakdown. This is Miss Chantell's opinion. I know a lot of y'all may disagree and have your own opinions. But listen, as an ethnic black American, if you're African by race, we do know that the African label is the white T man's racial construct. Africa was not called Africa. You would never hear Africa in the Bible because it wasn't called Africa. Do you understand what I'm saying? It was just a landmass filled with people, just like America in other places, filled with people. And that was it. It was just a landmass filled with people. And they described themselves by their individual kingdoms and nations. You see? But it was no word or name to describe the whole people on a landmass. So they named it Africa, the white tea people. They named it Africa. And for some reason, supposedly, people believe all Africans are melanated, any melanated people in the world. I don't understand it myself. Like, what the fuck? Because they labeled this landmass filled with dark melanated people, dark skinned people, which Africa was filled with people who wasn't even as melanated, heavily melanated. They even had some white settlers there that would, because Africa had the hub of Africa, I mean, not the hub, but Africa had a trading, a big trading, let's just say hub, a big trading hub. Many people came from many places to trade in Africa, especially in North Africa. West Africa too, but especially in North Africa. We hear more about the North Africa than anything because there was a lot of scholars there, a lot of happenings, universities, very intelligent people. And so they had these people that would come from all around the world to trade in Africa. They had settlers who came from other parts of the world who settled in Africa and built kingdoms and nations. They were not Africans. That's normal. In America, it was the same way. They had people that came here, and you never hear about them talk about Asian settlers who came to America way before the Spaniards and stuff. You never hear them talk about that, but it was so. All in the Pacific Islands and stuff, it was so. Those people had been migrating back and forth like way before the white sea people showed up. You understand what I'm saying? But you never hear that because it's their history that they're teaching. So they make themselves out to be the heroes and sheroes. Okay? Listen. Africa had many different distinct looking and cultures of people, even some that were far from being melanated people. They named the continent Africa, the white sea people. And for some strange reason, a lot of people associate Africa with just melanated people. And so from there, this ideology of anybody who's melanated comes from African people. which isn't true. It's a race based construct that they put on their landmass. So if you African by race, this shit ain't even real, is what I'm saying. It's not real. It's hard for Africans and others to even believe that when they were selling people via the Atlantic slave trade or transatlantic slave trade, it's hard for them to understand that they took they stole people from different parts of Africa, not just West Africa and Central Africa. It was different parts of Africa. All of these people were not the same. They were not the same people. Remember, Africa was just a landmass filled with many different kingdoms and tribes of people who did not see themselves as relatives, related, or anything like that. They were not the same people. Do you follow what I'm saying? The race based shit is bullshit. They were not the same people. They were just different kingdoms and tribes of people and nations of people dispersed out in the landmass. So when people be like, oh, they took them from Central America, you don't know who was staying in Central. They could have had people from the Middle East, which they had plenty of them that relocated to the African, what they call Africa today, continent, and built um, nations and kingdoms there and stuff. You don't know who these people were. But in people's mind, they actually think that all these people are relatives or related or something. I don't know. Like what the fuck? I don't get it either. But anyways, the racial construct of you're African by race, believing that all melanated people are African, all melanated people around the world are African, is pure foolery. It's just pure foolery. Gotta get out of it. Shake that white man's ideology out of your head. Okay? In that case, all white people around, all pale people around the world related. And we know that's not the case. So, if you're African as an ethnic black American, are you African by race? No, because that's bullshit. It's not real. The African race thing is not real. There's no such thing as an African race of people. It's no such thing. That's what Pan Africans love to promote too. You're African if you're heavily melanated. What? You know how many heavily melanated people is around this world? Are you fucking crazy? That's not African. Anyways, as an ethnic black American, are you African by ethnicity slash tribal? Tribe? No. Because you cannot trace yourself to any tribe in Africa. Nobody can. But when they were stealing the people and kidnapping the people from their families, these people were a multitude of different nations, kingdoms, and tribes. They all were kidnapped from different tribes dispersed around the landmass. No kidnapped people who were sold into slavery can come up and be like, yeah, I can trace my roots all the way back to the African tribe of this or that. Pure stupidity and foolery. Oh my gosh. You be talking about a test. Well, they have a test here that says, come on now, we're not that stupid and dumb. Stop it. Stop it. 400 years. 400 years. You cannot trace shit back to Africa. No African tribe. And it was taking people, kidnapping people from all different nations and tribes of people and kingdoms of people over there. Stop the foolery. You can't trace yourself back to shit over there. So, anyways, as an ethnic black American, are you African by nationality? No, most certainly not. You need to pretty much be born over there to carry the nationality, which is pretty much culture, the idea of culture. And you're not born over there. So you're not African by nationality. Well, as an ethnic black American, are you African based on continental origin? As in, well, all melanated people come from Africa. I just explained that. That's that racial white T man construct. There's no such thing as African people. It's a racial construct. And there's no such thing as all African people, melanated people are from Africa. That's not real, people. It's not real. And I'm going to take you to this right here. So when I say, are you continental, are you African by continental origin? No, you're not. Because if you have an ancestor that you believe was brought here from Africa into slavery, your ancestor come from Africa. Okay, that would be your ancestor origin, but not your origin. Because when your ancestor touched the soil of America and never returned, produced the white man's seed, and grew into a whole nother nation of people, you are not a continental African. You have an ancestor that was continental African, not you. And as a matter of fact, your admixture, you're definitely not African. You see what I'm saying? So it doesn't make sense for ethnic black Americans to be like, I'm African. I mean, if you're trying to get reparations, I understand what you're doing. I get it. Shh. Say less, girl. Say less. I get it. Now we just dish the whole African claim, then it's no reparations. Because that's like saying slavery didn't happen and all this old stuff like that. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that the racial construct is fake, and the continental origin, the African by continental origin, is fake, and we can't trace our roots there. Even if you believe that, hey, you know, the transatlantic slave, the slave trade did in fact happen. All I'm saying is that those people are not you anymore. That's all I'm saying. You still can get reparations. But don't confuse yourself. I mean, you're not African. To claim African is just it's listen, you can't claim two things, all right? Hold up. Some people be like some people be like um we're an admixture of people, which we are, American Negroes, whatever we want to be called. We're not Africans, that's for sure. Our ancestor was. Okay? And you can't say we're an admixture of people, a whole new people, and then turn around and say we're African as well. You understand what I'm saying? It's confusion. It's confusion. That's why I don't like when biracial people identify as, or by ethnics identify as a single race. It's confusing because you're like, wait a minute, just be like I'm biracial. Or you can't say black biracial because that means you're letting me know that you have, well, you want to be specific. You can say I'm ethnic black American biracial. That means you're letting people know up front that you're half of us and half of another race. All right. I'm by ethnic Jamaican. That I'm by ethnic. I ain't gonna say ethnic Black American. It's too long. I'm by ethnic Jamaican. So clearly, when you say by ethnic, we automatically get that you have two different people. Hold on, this noisy truck is passing by. It's pretty loud. Yeah, you're automatically letting people know up front that you come from two different lineages of people that's melanated. Okay, you're letting us know that bi ethnic is the same so-called race of people, but different groups. So you're automatically letting us know that you're half of us if you say I'm a bi ethnic FBA. I like that because you know you're not coming with no confusion, no deception. You just straight up saying, I respect them like that. When you on that type of stuff, that lets me know you come, you straightforward. You ain't playing no ring around the roses and stuff with my mind because you let me know straight up I'm by ethnic FBA, which means you got a parent that's of a different ethnic group, or I'm biracial FBA. Clear understandings. But when you come with the I'm FBA and you know you're by ethnic, listen, push along with all that. But anyways, you can't be confusing yourself by saying that you are a new people in America, ethnic Black Americans. You're a new people with mixed ancestry. Then you turn right around out the same mouth and say you African. No, 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 no. In that case, you can tell Europeans that you're European because you got ancestry of Europeans too, and you can tell natives that we know that's a little tricky right there because some of the natives, full blood natives, were classified as Negroes. You know, we're gonna leave that one alone. But listen, you're not both. Africa, the identity of African belongs to Africans. And the identity of ethnic Black Americans belong to ethnic Black Americans. But if you claim it both, it's confusing. You see what I'm saying? That's that old Pan African shit with them Africans and stuff doing. And Caribbeans. They doing that too. They trying to claim both of something. I'm Caribbean, but I'm FBA too. And because well I'm African too. It's all too much. Chime down and choose one. So again, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I don't claim African anything. The African identity belongs to those people who come from the African continent. I and my family don't come from the African continent. We don't come from over there, so we don't have anything to do with Africa. We're not Africans by race. We're not Africans. That's fake shit. We're not Africans by ethnicity slash tribes. I don't have no tribe. None of my family won't know nothing about them people over there with that. We we're not African by nationality. Yeah, we're not African by nationality. We don't. We never even been there. We're not African by continental origin, which is basically the race thing. We don't come from Africa. Period. We had an ancestor come from Africa. So we don't accept the African identity, period. Okay? Do we have African DNA ancestry? Sure, just like we have European and Native ancestry as well. Okay? So for me to say I'm not African, it's not denying my ancestry, my mixed ancestry. It's just me saying I'm not African. Period. Let's move along. I think you guys got the point, right? Because it can be confusing when you do that. When you start going, jumping here and there, and here and there, it can get confusing. Well, okay, I'm gonna say I'm African because we do have African DNA. We got a different ancestry of DNA. Well, I'm gonna say I'm African because I believe the slaves came here. No, 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 no. Those people were kidnapped and brought to America, not you. They come from the continent of Africa, not you, not their descendants. I told you, my lineage traced back into Cherokee, full blood Cherokee native. I'm not native. My ancestor was native. My grandma, my mother's mother, grew up on a reservation. I didn't experience that. She did. Like, just because you have a white mother doesn't mean you're white. Just because you have a black mom doesn't mean you're black. Just because you have a black dad doesn't mean you're black or white dad. Do you follow what I'm saying? If you got some admixture going in there and some race mixing and stuff, and then you're gonna be what we call bi ethnic or biracial or you know, mixed ancestry. The hopping in and out of stuff though, it's a little confusing. It can get confusing. That's all I'm saying. All right. So I heard these people talking, and I gotta address this one more time because when I hear these Liberians talking these lies, I always have to address them. And let me address them one last time by saying this right here, because those American freedmen were definitely, indeed, my people. And let me address this real quick with these indigenous Africans lying. Listen, sir, ma'am, indigenous Africans did not build Liberia. Liberia was built by American freedmen. Everything about Liberia is American freedmen. Like American freedmen broke off from the ACS long, probably about what, 15, 17 years after they arrived in Africa. And they told those people, listen, we don't need no more of your assistance. We want you to be long gone and don't come back. Okay? So those people maintain a country in that they established and built in Africa for a century, over a century. Everything about that country is American freedmen, not indigenous African tribes. You cannot erase them because they're indispensable to Liberia. That's their country that you stole. You did not, indigenous Liberians did not build any country. Get that through your thick skull. You stole the country. And everything about the establishment of the country is American freedmen. Period. Point blank. Stop trying to erase them. American freedmen and their descendants are indispensable to Liberia, meaning that it wouldn't be what it is today without them. Period. Point blank. African indigenous Africans who they incorporated stole the country. You didn't build the country. Your people didn't build the country. Cut the shits. Moving along. Everything about that country and what's going on, you learn from American Liberians. American Liberians. Period. Point blank. All right. I recapped that Garvey hype, right? Yeah. Pure foolery. Pure foolery. Did I recap the dumbness of Pan Africans who are true destroyers rather than builders? Listen, I don't want to go over that again because I think we already know we got Pan Africans pat down to the core. They pretty much dumb dummies. I hate to be so like frank in my speech, but they are dumb. One second. These people promote ethnic black Americans to just jump ship and go where? When we get to act, just move, move. Okay, so when we move by the thousands, where are we gonna stay? What are we gonna eat? Like, hello, they're so freaking dumb to it, extremely dumb. Listen, Asians and Indians over there in Africa and other peoples, you know what they do? They go ahead of their people. They buy land, they build on the land, they structure everything, and then they call for their people to come in and they continue to build from that point. But Pan Africans are telling ethnic black Americans to just abandon family, abandon ship, go marry in Africa and be happy, go marry in other countries and be happy. Telling our women, divest, divest. Those are Caribbeans, by the way, ladies. Divest, divest. Ooh, wee. It's better over here. Anything to break the unity among our people. But see, when Miss Chantell speaking, I always tell you some of the brothers. It's more of our brothers that's with us than the ones that's against us. You may think it's more of the ones that's interracially dating and all this interracial mixture stuff, all that. You might think it's more of them. More of our men is into that, but it's not. They get online and they promote the past bro foolery and all kinds of stuff. It's not more of them. They're a small number of our brothers. The majority of our men are with us. Believe it, baby. And they soldiers. So when I'm talking to you, I have in mind my dad and all his brothers, my brothers, my uncles, my nephews, all of them. None of them is chasing women around the world. None of them is going around the world talking about looking for a bride. What? Talking about the women overseas are better than their women here in America. Motherfucker, ain't none of my brothers talking like that. You're listening to goofy clowns online. Goofy clowns that's $1 million slaves. That is not the majority of our men. Huh? Get out in the open in real deal life. And you will find brothers that ain't with that BS. The ones online, they foolish, behaved. Complaining and crying. Don't no real decent men do that. Complaining and crying about women. What the fuck? That's not builders, that's destroyers. You see? While our real brothers out there hustling, trying to figure out a way, trying to hustle and stay out the limelight and figure out a way for to survive with their women and children. The TV promoting these interracial clowns that's you know, yeah, wiggity wag. And then they hop online and they build channels of stupidity. Do you ever hear any channels of brothers? Hold up. Do you ever hear any channels of? This is something you'll never hear, ladies. Well, I ain't gonna say never, but you have never came across a channel where an ethnic black American man is on here promoting love of ethnic black American women. Have you ever heard a channel like that on here? I bet you haven't, ladies. You hear them promoting everything but us. You know why? Because first of all, they're not us. You do know that, right? And the ones that are us, those confused, hurt puppies, very few in number. Very few in number. I want you ladies to understand that. Stop feeding into the BS what you see on TV, the entertainers and actors and the people online talking about ethnic black American women. Those are not our men. And a few of them that's truly ethnic black American that do that, it's a very small number of them. They're losers. Yeah, they are. What kind of men complain about women? Bitch, you should be building something, huh? Put your mind to building, building, building. Listen, any man that don't want to provide for women and children, don't no woman want you. Now over to the ladies, to you ladies. There's a bunch of Caribbean and African women online doing the same shit, cosplaying us. Uh huh. You know who I'm talking about? The first, second, and third generation of the ones that can kind of hide, because they talk like us, walk like they got our whole get up going. And listen, they're sitting online promoting the same dumb shit. Divest, divest. Look, I moved to China and Japan, and I got a husband, and we're so awesomely in love. Bitch, you're lying. You're lying. Stop that. Stop it. You're lying about all of that. You dream of touching a black man every night, just like the black man who's not with the black woman. He dreams about touching the black woman. That is why his woman end up going get booty, stuff and titty stuff and painting her body because she knows what he truly desires. Do you understand what I'm saying? People is living so fake. Ladies, the best man is white zaddy and all of just so foolery. That is not ethnic black American women. Cut the shit. And listen, the few of them that are truly ethnic black American women is very, 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 very few of them. Do you understand what I'm saying? Don't let the few people that's negative be representation of our people. Because every time I'm talking to you about our community, I have in mind a set group of men that I look at. People I grew up with, friends and families and cousins and uncles and all that. I have a set group of people in mind who I grew up with. And those people who I see in my community, they're not like that. They do not hate their own sisters. They're nothing like these internet trolls and these cosplaying clowns. That goes for the men and women. Stop falling for the hype. Now, ooh, ouch. Hold up a second. Let me get a little comfortable right quick. I'm gonna feet up and relax. So, where was I? Oh yeah, I want to get into this particular topic, y'all. Ooh. Let me hurry and get to there. Because I wrote my topics down. I'm trying to go quickly through them. It's been 1 hour already. Time goes by fast, and I'm trying to hit my points within a certain time. Okay, so Yeah, so basically, if they're not talking about building, what's the point of the conversation? You know? To get online and listen to somebody who whining about they can't find dates. They can't find people that's comparable to their income. They can't find beautiful women. That's a lie because they got a lot of makeup. Women today are great makeup artists. And honey, I just saw online a man say he divorcing his wife. He stopped dating a girl actually when he saw her without her makeup on. So it's a lot of makeup artists out here. You can't be talking about you can't find a woman that's beautiful because they know how to beat the face, baby. Believe that. They know how to put the wigs together and all that. So you lying about that. Um, when they're not talking nothing, no building, what's the purpose of the conversation? If we're not talking about building, you know what I'm saying? Talking about something positive, uplifting. What's the point of the conversation? I hear a particular person on here, they come on online all the time and they always, ew, grimy, toxic. Never nothing nice to say. Never, ever, ever. That's a toxic person. Ooh, Okay, so all right, so let me touch up on this right quick too. Listen. Understand, ethnic Black Americans. Please understand this. There's there's a group of people still exploiting the community, cosplaying as ethnic Black Americans online with FBA channels, promoting delineation, but at the same time promoting books and other products along with it, knowing very well that they are not of ethnic Black American lineage. Yeah, they're still trying to sell a shit and do their thing, exploit our people online, and it think it's funny. I mean, sometimes you can look at some of these people and see that they are clearly not one of us. But some of y'all act like y'all can't see it. Hey, it is what it is. So listen, I was out at the store a couple of days ago. So a guy walks up to, we was ordering food, me and my son, and he asks, well, he was complimenting my son locks and asking who did it or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, I did it. And so he was complimenting the locks or whatever, and so um, he asked, were we were we Black American like him? And I said, what you mean? He said, are y'all Africans or whatever? And we're like, no, we just black, ethnic Black Americans. And he's like, went into different conversation. Then he come back around again. So are y'all from here? Are y'all straight black like me? I had to fall out laughing on that one. I said, straight black? What that mean? Straight black like me. I ain't never heard that one before. Yeah, but are you straight black like me, or are y'all African or something like that from somewhere else? Or are you just straight black like me? I'm like, ooh, when I heard that, I said, that FBA stuff is definitely not just online, baby. Listen, he asked about 3 times what we I said, we really, really just Black Americans. We're not from anywhere else. Oh, okay, that's what's up. I'm like, we have to tell them 3 times. Listen, that was funny. I say straight. He say straight black like me. No immigrant or nothing like that. I was like, okay, I never heard it like that before. Straight black like me. All right, so moving along. Listen, let me talk about this real quick. Child, honey. You know, you gotta be careful about people that you, should I say that, people that you follow. There's people that's pushing grassroots movements, and you don't really know their underlying agenda. That's what I'm trying to say. You don't really know they real agenda, like a politician. You know what I'm saying? You don't really know their real agenda. All you know is what they put out, what they put forth. But you don't really know absolutely what they're truly about unless you ask them. You have to ask them and get in their head and be like, questions. If you really want to know particular things about them. Because sometimes, if not, you can end up supporting organizations that's not something you really want to support. But you end up supporting it because what they're coming off with, what they're leading with, is unity in the community for the betterment of the people. But there's an underlying agenda, like I said, and you may not agree with it. So, for a lot of us, when we find out that, okay, I was in support of this person, but I don't like what they popping right now. That's not something I'm in agreement with. All we can do is just kind of back off at that point. You see what I'm saying? That's all we can do is back off because one second. Because listen, I happen to hear somebody pushing an organization of unity in the community, to for the betterment of the people in the community. And this person was basically expressing a form of, I'm trying to find a way to explain it. This person, put it like this here. This person is not into flat blackness. This person is like, no flat blackness. No, 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 no. Go do your own shit over there. But at the same time, they are into integrating with white tea people and falling in line. And when I say falling in line, let me explain it. The problem we have in white tea America as ethnic black Americans, we fight for, our people have been fighting for equality for a very long time. Equality. If they was not fighting for equality, they would have fallen in line when the shackles came off long time ago. They would have been like, okay, white tea people, we just gonna fall in line and follow and listen and agree with everything you do in the world as your lapdoggies. But that's not what ethnic black Americans agreed to do. When the shackles were taken off by God, they began to build, disperse, and build their own communities rapidly, rapidly. So fast that the white tea people got jealous and began to burn them down and water them down. Everything they did, they was trying to stop them from building a nation within a nation because they knew the people were builders and skilled people and hella smart. They knew this. Okay? So, ethnic black Americans, as Trump said, they are warriors. Our people did not settle for falling in line in agreement with everything another nation of people do. So I heard this guy, he's pushing his shit through the algorithm on YouTube, and it's so stupid. And he's talking about how Martin Luther King was troublemaker and all that old foolery. But listen, he tried to make a point that ethnic black Americans exist to just go against white tea people. What the fuck? Are you kidding me? You think a whole group of people just want to wake up every day and go back and forth with white people? Is that happy living? What the hell? Some of these, of course he wasn't ours. Of course he wasn't ours. He was a black immigrant. And I'm like, some of these people are super fucking dumb. But these black immigrants, that's what they push for. They actually want to replace us because they're very much willing and would happily just fall in line and agree with everything the white tea people do. And they basically saying, get out the effing way. Because our people don't do that. They haven't did that. They fought back for rights and equality, not to be followers. And so this organizer of a grassroots movement in disguise of betterment for the people of the community. Again, this person doesn't believe in flat blackness. All black people as one. But this person do believe in integrating into white tea man society. Yeah. It kind of, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. I had to take a moment to think about it. Some things I'd be like, wait a minute, I gotta think about this. Hold on, you don't like flat blackness. That's a no-no. You don't want to join with them because they're immigrants, basically. But you're okay with integrating into white tea construct and going along with everything they do and standing in agreement with everything they do. Basically being a follower, not a leader. And not fighting for equality, by the way. This person says, when you think of yourself as a segregationist, where you believe that we're better off without white tea people, it means you want to bring back Jim Crow. Huh? What? That means the person want to bring back Jim Crow because they don't want to, listen to this shit, they don't want to fall in line with white tea people and stand in agreement with everything they do around the world, like dropping bombs and shit on people and everything they do around the world. If we don't want to stand in agreement with that and go be followers, then we want Jim Crow back. What the fuck kind of quacky shit is that? What? I I was flabbergasted. I'm like, wait, I gotta think about that. What why would you use that as a why would you say that? Because people feel like they're better off without integrating, establishing their own communities, that they long for Jim Crow. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. It's the dumbest I've ever heard. What has integration gotten you? And don't you dare bring up Martin Luther King. How dare you mention that man's name as though he was for integration? No, he was not. That man extended a hand of brotherhood as to say we can live on the same landmass, separate but equal. We can still get along and live on the same landmass, separate but equal. He even said out his mouth he wasn't promoting for black men to lead their black wives and stuff like that and families and marry into whiteness. He even said that. And you know another thing he said? He said that his dream turned into a nightmare. His dream of integration turned into a nightmare. I guess the person didn't hear that part. They only assumed that this man was an integrationist. I think you need to go back a little further, and you might bump into some collectibles where he's expressing that, I think I made a big mistake here. That dream of integration. Oh, no, that's actually a nightmare. Now, what have we achieved during segregation? Much, 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 much. Our people was doing great. Versus integration. Honey, lady, if you don't open your eyes, if you just looking for an easy way, of course, that would be the way to go. Just fall in line, integrate, and fall in line. Be followers. That would be and that's pretty much what this person is thinking. If we just fall in line and intermarry into the culture of these people, we can excel that way. We won't have to worry about, you know how they say, if you can't beat them, join them. That's what she's on. If you can't beat them, join them. Now, there's a lot of people in our community, the ethnic black American community. If they heard her say such things, they would off top dismiss her real fast. They'll be like, what she say? Get her ass up out of here. Yeah, they'll dismiss her real fast. You telling our people to fall in line and go along and stand in agreement with everything these other people do. That's what a lot of immigrant populations are doing here in America. Africans, Caribbeans, Indians, and the rest. Asians, and the rest. Yeah, that's what they're doing. And that's what she expects ethnic black Americans to do. Yeah. I was surprised when I heard that. I'm like, who the fuck is following this lady? You looking for your people to fall in line and just be followers and stand in agreement with things that's not so right. I wonder if the people know how she truly feels, though. Because sometimes we don't get to hear stuff like that until a person get to having podcasts and stuff and they get to Because eventually you're going to hear their truth come out if they have podcasts and stuff. Eventually, like I said, the mask will fall off. They going to hurry up and pick it back up and put it on like it never fell off, but it will fall off if they come in and talking all the time. And if they fake, the mask will fall off eventually. And yeah, that was a mask slip revealing that, listen, if you really want this to work, you just have to do it this way. It's never been done before this way. Just fall in line and be followers. And that's the way to get them to leave us alone. Just fall in line and agree, be followers. We're all Americans. We're just Americans. And that's the way to do it. We don't have to fight for equality if we just fall in line and follow and leave all this race stuff alone. That's the same shit Candace Owens and them is talking, Pan-Africans. So I'm going around in a circle now. Now I'm like, wait a minute. You say that you're about the community of ethnic black Americans progressing politically for change, for a better change. And immigrants, well, hold on. Have I heard her say anything about immigrants? Hold on. I have heard her say some things about immigrants. Oh, I get it. The things I've heard her say basically is she's trying to make it where we have it better off than immigrants because they're coming over here, non-Americans, and they're trying to replace us in whitey man's systems. But if we just fall in line and go along with everything and just be thankful for what is offered, we can get more possibly. And we won't even have to worry about protections like what them people be talking about, protection bills or something. I've heard a lot of people speak on that. Like, she's saying we wouldn't have to worry about trying to get protection bills because we would be included in as one of them. We're all just Americans, basically, is what she's saying. That's what that means. We're all just Americans. If you desire segregation, you're asking for Jim Crow to come back. So that's her point of view. I would like it if people can be honest about their point of view. But it wouldn't get her very far because she knows that our people is not on that shit. She know our people be like, what you say? So, they come from different angles. But yeah, you gotta be careful with these grassroots organizers. They don't be trying to benefit you. They be trying to benefit themselves. And they be actually working in opposition of what they preaching to you. So you really gotta be careful with these people. But the one thing I can say is this. If you pushing that you want something better for the community, okay. And this is what you pushing, okay. But the minute I hear something different, I withdraw. And that's all we can do is withdraw. It's like with politicians. That's what they do too. They lie and to get where they want to get and what they want to get. And when you hear, you just draw back. Okay? But they got some people, they kind of clingy. And so when they hear BS, they don't draw back. They just continue to stagger there with the person, knowing that the person's full of BS. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be stronger than that. When you hear some BS, you pull back. You pull back your support. That's what you do. But yeah, I was really like, are you effing kidding me? Are you really saying that we're we we're allowing immigrants to replace us basically? Hold on. We're allowing immigrants to replace us in a white man system where we have more seniority with the white man if we just fall in line in agreement and follow and stand in agreement with everything they do. We won't have to worry about getting protection bills. We won't have to worry about a lot of stuff because we would be included like the white immigrants that come to America. Basically, that's what this person is pushing. Because she's saying if you go towards segregation, you asking for more trouble than what you have right now. So basically, that's what she's saying. That's her outlook, of course. That's our outlook. What do you think about the ethnic Black Americans? That's a question posed to you. Are we better off? Look at my time. Almost 2 hours, 1 hour and 47 minutes. Are we better off? Excuse me. Are we better off um, falling in line, following, and standing in agreement as a subculture of people to the dominant group of people that's running this country, white people? Are we better off doing that rather than stand in opposition to what we see as bad? Because maybe if she's saying that, she might not see anything as bad what they're doing. For her to come to that conclusion, she doesn't see anything bad that they're doing. For her to say we're better off falling in line with them and following and standing in agreement with everything they do, that means she doesn't see anything wrong with what they're doing in the world, not just in America. So she doesn't see anything wrong with what, by the way, I heard that her partner is one of them. I don't know what the fuck is. Listen, so so she doesn't see anything wrong with what they're doing. It, yeah. If we don't get in line, fall in line, and go along with them, and stand in agreement with them, then we're giving up a great spot to immigrants that's trying to get that spot. They're vying to get that spot. The immigrants, that's what they come to do. They coming to replace us in that spot because she's right on that note. The melanated immigrants, baby, they already let it be known that they willing to fall in line and go with the flow and stand in agreement with everything the government in America do. Okay, they're gonna justify everything they do. And basically, the lady is saying, the organizer is saying, we're gonna forfeit our position if we don't take up and move that way. Because if we thinking in our minds to segregate, and segregate is a good thing, she's like, That means you longing for that day to come back, Jim Crow to come back. Hmm. I hope y'all understood how I explained that, but pretty much that's what the lady was saying. And that's a question posed to FBAs. Do you think we're better off falling in line and following and standing in agreement with other Americans, the dominant culture of the dominant people of America who control America? That way we don't need to fight for any protection bills and all that other stuff. We don't need to fight against them for anything else. Um, I guess they're gonna be fair or something. I don't know. Do you think we're better off that way, or do you think we're better off segregate? I posed that question to the ethnic Black American family. I know a lot of y'all listen to my videos, but yeah, I really want to know. Like, I'm not. In my mind, I would say no. Of course, I'm gonna say no. Okay, because I stand biblically on the Word of God. So of course, in my mind, I'm gonna say no. That's not a good position. All right, that's my perspective. But other people have perspectives that I would like to hear. You understand what I'm saying? So, um, yeah, that's. We have to really be. Listen, listen. They got people that got grassroots organizations. That's they are male chauvinists and they promote like one of them. They promote they're okay with interracial dating when it comes to black men. It's perfectly fine. It's no problem. Well, I don't see anything wrong with that at all. But when it comes to the ethnic Black American want women dating out, they freaking go crazy. Oh, you're a bad witch. Like, what the retarded fuck is that? You just promoted this brother to do his thing. But then in the same breath, you talk about the sister calling her bad wenches. What the? Are you guys listening to the people you so called support and follow? Are you listening? You promoting, you high five the brother that's messing with all kind of Africans and running around the country passport broing. But then in the same breath, you turn around and say to the sisters, yeah, yeah, because you're messing with them, with them busted tethers. What? You didn't just tell that to him. So you gotta know the kind of people you get behind. You know what I'm saying? You better know the kind of people you get behind. Double standard like a and people that push double standard type of stuff. I think they lack respect for women. To be honest with you, they lack respect for women. Because if you tell me it's bad for the men to date out interracially in our community, then I naturally assume it's bad for the women to date out interracially in our community. If you tell me eating healthy is good for the women of our community, I naturally think eating healthy for all the people in our community is good then. You see what I'm saying? But if it's that, no, they can do this, but you can't. You don't get your dumb ass down the street. Gosh. Let's step into some visuals. I want to talk about something deep tonight. A lot of people, um, Let me pull it up on the screen. I was watching today. I listened to for a second. Ooh, what happened? Oh, okay, there it is. I listened today for a second to some. I was thinking about something today. One second. I was thinking about my city I'm from, right? And I was thinking about this because I think, oh, I came across a video of if I mute, that means I don't want to cough in this mic. But I was thinking about the people in my city, New Orleans, where I'm from, right? Originally. And I thought about it because I came across a video and I came across a video of some brothers because they got a lot of New Orleans podcasters now. It must be a thing now. So, anyways, I came across it and I was listening to the brothers talk, and I was like, damn, whew, they soldiers. Whew, my gosh. My dad have a lot of brothers. I have lots of uncles on my dad's side. I have a lot of cousins on my mom's side, male cousins I grew up with and stuff. And just cousins and nephews, all that kind of stuff. And listen, it's soldiers. Ooh, like it's so rough in New Orleans growing up there. It's so I'm going somewhere with the conversation, but I just want to give you a backdrop to to why I'm talking about it. Because I happen to see those brothers and they got older and they were no longer in the game. And their mentality changed as they grew into their old age, into not old age, but they were in their 50s, right? But when they were younger, they were straight. Wow. Let me tell you, growing up in New Orleans, ain't nobody to date but them. Ain't nobody to date but them kind. Shit. So you learn how to go, how to get, how to, you learn the game. And let me tell you something. It's wild. I don't know how it is today because we moved away. But let me tell you something. My teen years, yeah. Oof. Oof. When I think back, I'm like, Mama made the right move. And when my mom was deciding to move, my brothers and sisters was in that ear, and I was in the other ear. And they were like, we ain't going nowhere. And I was like, nah, you gotta do it. You want more opportunity, you say, do it. Let's do it. I was ready to get the hell up out of there. First of all, the school I was going to, they had a girl gang that was trying to come for me. So a lot of people didn't want to see me at the school because they were like concerned. And New Orleans is a very small place. It's very small. And, I don't know, when you got beef, you would have to keep looking over your shoulder. It's small. And so it's a very how can I put it? Friends to me, I don't even know how you can call somebody friends there. Like that, they can turn on you in a snap. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep it respectful, but I put it like this: I was ready to get the HELL out of there. You understand what I'm saying? Because it it was nothing nice. It just wasn't. It was nothing nice to grow up in. It was very the culture is fun. Don't get me wrong. The second lines and all that. The culture is hella fun. It's very different than the rest of the country. It's a very different place. It's extremely different from the rest of the country. And let me tell you something. I used to think it was only New Orleans people from the city that was crazy. Cause yeah, at some point I was like, these motherfuckers is crazy for real, like cuckoo cuckoo. And I started thinking, even as a high schooler, I was thinking, what's that spray? Why is they spraying the streets? Because we used to have those trucks come and spray the streets, talking about it was mosquito spray. But I was like, shit, something's going on here. These motherfucking people is crazy. And so that's how wild it was growing up there. And so, for guys and girls, by the way. And so it was so like, ooh, it just, I'm so glad. Like, listen, that's me trying to say it was super dangerous. The mentality of the people is off the hook. Like, it's off the hook. And soldiers, I don't even know if I would say soldiers. It's just, whew. So, um, I have relatives, as I told you before, that grew up there, and it's fast. It's nothing slow about New Orleans. No, not the city. It's fast and it's highly like dangerous. So every time I hear people say they going there, I be like, make sure you know somebody who from there. Not just somebody who moved there. Actually, be with somebody who's actually from there, who know. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know. Not somebody who just moved there and shit, been living there 3, 4 years. No. I'm talking about somebody who's from there. So, because you gotta know the mindset. It's different. And so, I was listening to the brothers and they was talking about their past and stuff. And so from there, I started thinking about how the spiritual part of it. And I heard Tariq before say it was spiritual or whatever, but I'm like, shh, I don't know what kind of spiritual he talking about because it's fucking dangerous. That's what I say. Listen, so I'm like, it's not the place that's dangerous. It's the mindset of the people. You know what I'm saying? That's why I used to. I'm like, what's going on here? Is it the mosquito spray? Because they be like, we spraying mosquito spray. I don't know about that. Listen, it ain't just in the city. I used to think as a kid it was just. I'm going somewhere with the conversation. I used to think in the city it was just New Orleans people. I thought on the outskirts is not like, it's not crazy behavior like on the outskirts. But shit, as I got a little mature in my age and moved around, woo, it's the whole Louisiana. Woo, the all the Creoles and the Cajuns and all of them. It's Yeah, yeah. I don't mess around with. Mm-mm, no, no, no. Some people diehard Louisiana people too. They be like, "That's my house. I ain't going nowhere." Blah blah blah. And that's fine. People love their city because it's heavily it's a heavily cultured city. It's real fun. It's real different and unique. You know, it is very different and unique, but it's also, very dangerous. And so, um, when I ventured on the outskirts, I'm like, whew, yo, the same stuff in the city of New Orleans is on the outskirts of New Orleans. Yeah. Yep. Same mentality. And the crazy part, all them subcultures of Creoles and Cajuns and Bayou people and whatever else, the mentality stretches across the state. Yeah. So I don't be playing around, you know what I'm saying? Like, I be like, let's get in and out. We're gonna go stop here and eat there and get the fuck on. But anyways, I started to think about the atmosphere. The atmosphere is a darkish atmosphere. It's not really lively. You understand what I'm saying? It's not lively. And I'm reflecting back when I was younger. And I don't ever recall it ever being lively. Because in my younger days, it was always that sort of stuff, you know? So, it's a very fast lifestyle. It's nothing slow about it. Nothing slow. Nothing slow. It's almost like those people on that island, uh, the Jawaras. If you go in their territory and they perceive you to be a threat, they just let loose. They don't give no second thought. It's almost like that. I was so glad to get up out of there. Shish. Yeah. So, anyways, um, yeah, it make you into, eh, the people become tough there because of what they have to deal with. So it makes you a very tough person. You know what I'm saying? So, I was thinking about the atmosphere of it though. It's gloomish, and came across some videos about people talking about the same thing, and I'm like, oh, geez, wow, confirmation. I know I wasn't tripping. It's a gloomy. It's darkish. Yeah, it's pretty darkish. Now, like I said, the mentality crosses all subcultures of Louisiana and cross the borderlines of the city and all that. I was saying that to say something else. I almost forgot my point because I didn't write this down. Anyways, yeah. Um, Mississippi is like that to me as well. Yeah, I don't F around in MS. So, also, some of Alabama, not all of Alabama, some parts of Alabama got that eerie feeling to me. Some parts, not all. Not Texas at all. I don't get that vibe out of Texas. Some parts of North Carolina. Hold on, I got a cough. Yeah. Some of Alabama, but other parts of Alabama is fine. But yeah, I just I don't know. I don't know if it's the mindset of the people. It's not the place. It's the mindset. It's unexplainable, but it's no. It's not a to me, in my opinion. If somebody else may think different, because like I said, they got some diehard New Orleans people where they just love their city, and you can't say nothing about their city or whatever. But I'm born and raised there. Family, my mom and dad's side, both families, just Louisiana. Period. New Orleans, Louisiana, just originally New Orleans. Um, but that's my roots. All of my family rooted from New Orleans, and we don't have any known immigrant lineage. Even though this is what I want to talk about too. I happened to hear a panel earlier today. I think it was a TikTok panel they put up on YouTube, and the people was arguing about Creoles are Creoles FBAs. I'm like, what the shits? I'm like, are you serious? That ain't nothing but tribalism right there. The Africans and so forth must be having a grand day time listening. We the same peoples right here in the same. Come on now. They didn't have it any better off than any other Negro Americans in America. So saying Creoles, stating that Creoles aren't FBAs, I'm trying to even comprehend that. What makes them not FBA? Are ethnic black Americans? Okay, so when it comes to Creoles, and by the way, Louisiana is a heavily mixed place. I keep on telling y'all that. In Louisiana, majority of the people is mixed. They have somewhere down their family line is a mixture of something. It's just what it is. Okay, I don't give a damn if they dark skin. Somewhere down this person's family line, if they from Louisiana, there's a mixture in there. Stop letting your eyes deceive you. You cannot tell people's DNA by eyesight. What some people. Whew, listen. Just because a person is dark skinned does not mean they don't come from um, lighter complexion people. One second. Yeah, just because a person is dark skinned doesn't mean you never seen a person that has a light skinned mom and they're dark skinned. Yeah, some Louisiana is filled with a lot of majority of people there have some type of mix mixture in their lineage somewhere down the line. Okay, so concerning Creoles, from my knowledge, and I believe they was talking about the Creole mixed families, all right, because there's different levels of Creole. And New Orleans, Louisiana is one of those places that's filled with multiple subgroups of mixed people. Yes. Okay. So you got all kind of mixtures there. The Creole mixture families, I believe they were talking about was, well, first of all, let me break the Creole part down. The Creole part is Creole could be identifying people who was born inside of a colony. You understand what I'm saying? They wasn't born outside like Europeans. They would be, anybody born into a new European colony could be a Creole. That's, you know, that's the broader term for Creole way back. But then the Creole became known as um, people that it could be related to people that speak certain languages and believe in certain beliefs. Creole can also identify um, the racial identity, the mixed racial identity. All right, and plus, like I said earlier, whether they was born, the first time it was used, it meant for people born inside of a newly colonized country. Okay, they were considered Creole. But listen, but how we use it today, we use it mainly to describe mixed race people. All right, and so there's a lot of different Creole languages, by the way, not just Haitian Creole. It trips me out when Haitians be like, you be like, what you speak? You speak French, and be like, nah, I speak Creole. It's thousands of Creole languages all abroad. If you go read about a lot of places in Asia and different places in India, a lot of them speak Creole languages. Creole languages is mixed languages that came from um, captors and the captive people mixing the language. And you got to have grammatical structure for it to be considered a Creole language. If not, it would just be a pidgin language. Like our Ebonics is pidgin. We don't got no grammatical structure to it. But if it's a mixed language from the captors and captive, captive, captives with grammatical structure, it's a Creole. So there's plenty of people around the world that speak Creole languages. Haitians are not the only ones that speak Creole. They be like, I speak Creole. What kind of Creole, sir? Okay, you speak Haitian Creole, but there's other kinds of Creoles languages. But anyways, let's move along. So concerning the Creoles of Louisiana Creoles, they call them, and first of all, the whole state would have been considered Creoles. You understand what I'm saying? The whole territory, because they were born outside. They come from outside and born into that territory, that newly colonized territory. And natives were also considered Creole because by that point they were mixed. Yeah, a lot of them were whitewashed. By who? By Europeans, French and Spanish. So they would be considered Creoles too, which means mixed. Let's go deeper concerning, in particular, I think that the FBA conversation was they wanted to know about not the native Creoles who was whitewashed too. They wanted to know in particular about the return this commercial. They wanted to know in particular about the Creoles that was black and French and Spanish because um, it was the Spanish and then the French and the mixture is there. Okay, so let me put it like this. There was a culture of okay, the Frenchmen. The Frenchmen would come to Louisiana from France. Okay, and so what happened was that the black they would come by themselves. They wouldn't come with their family, of course. There was black women there, biracials, and some of them not biracials. But all of us people had a level of white. Listen, let me take it even further. Way before this Louisiana Creole thing popped off, it was already heavily mixed people in Louisiana. Do you guys follow what I'm saying now? It was already racially heavily mixed people in Louisiana. That's the one when I first left New Orleans. Me and my sister was in downtown Atlanta, and I was like, I turned around to her. I'm like, the women here is not looking good. She was like, I know. I'm like, what the fuck? We were seeing really the big lips, the big nose, the facial features were like hyphenated, like whew. And so we wasn't used to seeing that in New Orleans. Oh, we seen dark skinned people, but even the dark skinned people there, the lips and stuff wasn't. The look was different. It was different. We could tell. I thought it was just me until I told her, but we can tell the difference. I kid you not. But listen, so we in Louisiana, the population before the Creole mixture of family thing happened, it was already heavily mixed people, dating all the way back to the 1700s and stuff. Then eventually, as time went on, and guess what? Louisiana had the most free people of color in America. Louisiana state held the most of them. People of color, free people of color, were thriving in Louisiana. All right. Now, it's different colonization periods where they had the French colonization, the Spanish, it depends on who was colonizing and control at that time. But listen, way before that Creole mixture culture begun, it was already heavily populated with mixed people. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Like, it was already heavily mixed people there. All right, so then as time went on, guess what happened? There was some people, as the story goes, there was some people, some women, who catered to Frenchmen coming from France. They catered to these men. You know how to I ain't gonna say prostitution, but they catered to them. They were their, I guess you can say, mistress while they were away from home. And so these women decided to put together a group of women. I kid you not, this is a story I was told growing up. They decided to put together a group of women who would be there for the purpose of serving Frenchmen who come over to the country without their wives. So they prepped a lot of the ladies. They chose beautiful women and they would prep them for they chose beautiful black women because the Frenchman was into these chocolate women. And so they chose to prep them for these white Frenchmen who would come into the country single. It doesn't mean they didn't have families back home. They would just come to the country by themselves. The women was prepped to cater to those men while they were in the country. Okay? The women would begin to give birth to these men's children, these Frenchmen children. Establish families in Louisiana, even if the man had a family. You know how Africans do today? They got families all around the world and stuff, and they promoted ethnic black American men to do the same dumb shit. Yeah. So, anyways, had to throw that in there. But, anyways, these women would begin to birth these Frenchmen's children. And that's the beginning, the very beginning of this Creole culture, Louisiana Creole culture. Consider, once again, that's a broad word. Creole is a broad word, and once again, way before the Creole idea of the Creole mixed family begun, it was already heavily mixed people there. It was already heavily mixed people there, like large population of mixed people there. Okay? Racially mixed. And so that's where the idea of this Creole Frenchman culture came from. So the women was giving birth to these children that was by the Frenchmen, and the Frenchmen was taking care of these women, okay, and their children. They were taking care of them. And so what happened was that the women, the black women, decided, we're gonna make this a thing, a culture. We're gonna start a culture of this and keep the culture going. The culture they started, I never looked into who it was or none of that kind of crap because it don't interest me to that level. So the women who started this culture decided that they're going to get together and they're going to continue to birth this mixed culture where, for whatever reason, you can go look into it. I have no interest to look into that. But they decided we're going to birth this mixed culture. And we're going to take our children that we having and we're going to raise them up to only mate with each other and to keep inside of this particular lifestyle of people. You're going to only mix with people that come from black women and Frenchmen. Yeah. So that's what they did. Some black women actually established that that culture, that Louisiana Creole mixed family culture. It was established by black women. Okay? They the ones decided we're gonna take and have our children intermarry and create a culture, a new culture from it. Yeah, that's what happened. That's where it come from. Again, I don't know why the hell they decided to do it or whatever. I'm not interested in knowing why, but that's what those particular women decided to do. And so they would prep young black girls, because the Frenchmen had a thing for black girls, and they would prep them to serve those Frenchmen and have their children and all of that kind of stuff. And they took good care of the women and children. And so a lot of our culture in Louisiana, like a lot of people don't know this, but gold teeth, the gold teeth culture, all black people in New Orleans pretty much have gold teeth. Like, I don't have any gold teeth because I was always the standout type of person where I don't follow the crowd. This never was my thing. And so I never got gold teeth. Even my family begged me to get gold teeth. At least two solids on the side, you know. Everybody have gold teeth. Grandmas, uncles, grandpas, everybody. It was a culture thing. And so what happened was that originally gold teeth was real gold put in the mouth. Okay, and when a person died, they would take it out of the person's mouth because it was real gold, and they would have it melted down or whatever. And so, of course, our people being under the Frenchmen and stuff picked up this culture because our culture is a mixture of culture. We not only have different ancestry, but we have not only a mixture of ancestry, but our culture is an intermix of culture. It's mixed up of different cultures. All right, and so black people begin to also, oh, black people got the culture of gold teeth. A lot of them don't know where it come from, but they got the culture of gold teeth from the Frenchmen. The Frenchmen would put gold teeth, they would put gold on their teeth to get women, to let women know how rich they were. That was the purpose of them putting gold on their teeth, to let the women know that they were rich and to attract the women. Okay, now this is Frenchmen, white people doing this at first. And that was the culture. And it extended, of course, to the blacks doing it because it was a cultural thing. Okay, to say you're rich, show that you're rich. One second. Yes, indeed, it was a thing to you're rich, and so from there, a lot of the culture of the Frenchmen can be seen in our culture, in Louisiana especially. I'm talking about. Okay, that's seen in our culture. So, um, back to what I was saying though. So, oh, I told you already about the Creole culture, mixed Creole families in Louisiana. That's how the Creole culture begun with black women who promoted it and started it. It was black women. Okay. And then number two, um, hold on, let me put up this video right quick. Yes, indeed, honey. Listen. So, okay, so you had the French came in first. They colonized or whatever like that, right? And then you had the Spanish come in and colonize. So, so the Spanish culture is also heavily influenced in Louisiana. You see what I'm saying? Give me a second. Let me take a sip. You know, I'm live streaming. I closed all my windows. I think it's dusty in here. I might need to dust. excuse me. But listen, so the Spanish came in, they colonized, and their culture got in, in the mix as well. The French culture, the African French, Caribbeans came in the culture mix from Haiti and stuff like that, and it's the whole. Even before they came, it was Louisiana was heavily racially mixed, not just the blacks, but the natives as well. Do you understand what I'm saying? I want you to understand that before the Creole family culture begun, the whole state of Louisiana was already heavily racially mixed. But there was a particular group of black women that started the idea of having a Creole mixed family lineage. You see what I'm saying? That's how that went down. Now, the Creole mixed family, again, they already had Creoles way before the Creole mixed family came about. Again, I want you to understand the culture of the Louisiana population was already heavily mixed. Natives, French, Spanish, they were all mixed people. That's what I need you to understand. Before the black women even got the idea to do the Creole mixed family lineage, it was already a bunch of mixed people. All right? So understand that first before we go further. I want you to understand that first. Then as time went by, you had an influx of Canadians. Well, they wasn't Canadian. They were Frenchmen that settled in Canada, and they were expelled from Canada. And then next thing you know, they went to Louisiana and they established the culture there. And their culture, because it was slavery and caste systems and all that kind of stuff, different Europeans had different systems they would put up and laws and stuff and restrictions. You know how them people do, they also had wicked systems and caste systems and shit to try to control people. So anyways, let me tell you the scenery after the Creole mixed family lineage begun. So before the Creole mixed family begun, Louisiana people was already known as, well, not just Louisiana, but people of mixed, they was all born inside the newly colonized places were considered Creole. But again, they were heavily racially mixed. They were already pretty much considered Creole, okay? And so then, as time went by, because we're talking strictly about the Creole mixture family. And so as time went by, those people, subculture grew. All right? Those people, so what I'm trying to say, I hate talking about a lot of different, I did that with South Africa when I looked into their culture and I read about how the slaves that was brought from Asian countries and India and all that kind of stuff, the mixture of them, and I was like, oh, this shit's too much. when I just go, okay, it's a mixed population, period, point blank, that's that. But they're a little bit more organized than the ones in Louisiana. In Louisiana, it's a lot to the breakdown of the mixture. And especially when it concerns Creoles, because majority of those people there were already Creole before the Creole mixture family lineage begun. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I heard them arguing about this shit. I'm like, maybe if you just step back and go read about it or something like that, or talk to some Creoles about it, you can hop online. They got plenty of Creoles online. Plenty of them. They tell you how to talk the language and everything. Baby, it's a lot of them you can pull up on your platform to talk to talk about their culture, right? So listen, um, what were they arguing? They were arguing that, oh, they were they were arguing that they were arguing that the 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 Creole mixed family. I keep saying Creole mixed family because I want you to understand. Before the Creole mixed family thing even begun, it was already heavily populated with racially mixed people. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Natives were racially mixed. All of them was pretty much whitewashed and mixed with each other. All right. So those particular women decided to start that Creole mixed family. I say Creole mixed family. All right. So from there, let's talk strictly about them. That Creole mixed family lineage, subculture, not lineage, but subculture. They was focused on them. So let's talk about them. That Creole mixture family began to grow in population. Their population grew. Not like in super large numbers, nah. But small size numbers. But they grew. All right. And um it was a thing for them to only marry other people who had the same racial mixture because they had became a community of people, right? Among other people, all kinds of other racially mixed people and black people and all that kind of stuff. And by this time, Haitian Creoles and all that kind of stuff. So they were among these people, and some of the people of the Creole mixture family decided they would marry out of the Creole mixture subculture. It wasn't something that they wanted them to do, but they did it. I'm gonna tell you why they did it. But first, let me say this: the one drop black rule came into play. In the one drop black rule, they had to identify as black. We're talking about the Creole mixture family. Everybody had to identify as black if you had one drop of black blood. But because we're focused in on the specific Creole mixture families, just to let you know, they had to identify as black because of the one drop blood rule. So again, when I say in New Orleans, when I was growing up, everybody just say black. When you ask there's plenty of them in our communities. Hello, where do you think they live? They live all around us, like they're mixed in our communities. And when you ask them, what you mix with, they just say black. They might say they Creole, or majority of the times when people say what you is, if they look extremely exotical, racially ambiguous, because some mixed people can give off racially ambiguous or whatever, they can be mixed with native plus this plus that, they just say black. I'm trying to tell you, we all just say black in Louisiana. Nobody's be like, Oh, I mix with Native, Cherokee, or I mix with French and Spanish. We don't do that. We don't do that in New Orleans. I've never ever heard. Matter of fact, I had a friend of mine from on the outskirts, and she was mad that I wasn't identifying as proudly identifying as Creole. And she felt that I should proudly identify as Creole, because you know it ain't just the black people that is diehard New Orleans people. The white people that love New Orleans too. They love their city, boy. Woo. They love their cultures and cities. They proud, baby. So, anyways, um, we all just identify as black. Now, let me go deeper into the mixture, which I don't like to do this type of thing. Like, because when you realize something is so mixed up in Louisiana population way before the Creole mixture families begun, everybody was already racially heavily mixed. That's what I keep on saying. Like, what? Every fucking body was identified as Creole. Because Creole just means mix. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now I'm about to tell you about the white Creoles. Okay? So, yeah, there's white Creoles. So, Creole means mix, right? See, the word Creole is very broad. It's a very broad word. You gotta break that. You gotta identify what Creole you're talking about. There's plenty different type of Creole. So let's talk about the white Creoles. The Frenchman who was expelled from Canada and went down to Louisiana, and they began to form their own culture there, of course. And so what they did was that that um, that culture, um, they began to mix in with the Creoles, that you know the half black and half white Creole, the Creole mixture people. They began to mix in with them, take up them, and they began to continue to take up the black women who was there to cater to the men of the single men. 1 second. And then they begin to mix with um, the Spanish, French, because those French was from Canada. They began to mix with the already Frenchmen who was born in a colony known as Creoles. They began to mix with them. It's Irish. Okay, so there's a such thing as they broke off and called themselves Cajuns. That's the white Creoles. They broke off and began to identify as Cajuns. Okay? So the Creole mixture family had their little subculture, and then the Canadian French that was expelled from Canada, they came and established their little culture of mixedness, like a whole bunch of mixture with them. But they broke off and began to identify as Creole. I mean Cajuns. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you go to YouTube, you can see a lot of them. A lot of the white people in Louisiana, they don't look like you know, European white. They got like I don't even know how to explain they look. Some of them are just racially ambiguous. You can't tell what they are. Like you can tell they white, but they got so much ambiguous racial ambiguity going on that you can't really pinpoint it. All right, so it's a lot of different looking people, and so those people from the Cajun lineage have African mixture, what they call it, African, Spanish, Irish, the Creole mixture fam. Shit is so crazy. Like, They have that. Now, as I was growing up in New Orleans, the Creoles, I mean, the Cajuns were known as white tea people to us. All right? They were not the same as Creole mixed families. They were white tea mixed families, okay? Even though they had some black mixture in there. And so from there, the Creoles migrated outside of Louisiana heavily. I mean, not outside Louisiana, but outside the city. Okay, they moved into different parishes and stuff. And so, um, my lineage, my grandpa, my mother's dad, and them come from a parish of Creoles, and yes, we all pretty much look like him. So, anyways, my grandma's side, on my dad's side as well, Creoles. My grandma's side, Cherokee Native. Listen, the whole population of Louisiana is likely mixed. Even if you see a dark, very dark skinned person, there's some mixture in that person's lineage. Yes, it is. Yep. Yes, it is. So, um, um, what else am I say? The Creoles, their food is different uh from our stuff. Their food is, to me, I can't mess with their food too much. Like I can't. I'm not into heavy. I don't even know how they eat that food. Like the seasons is overly bold. Like if you ever never met white people that like season, I mean, yeah, that's right. If you never met white people that like season, heavy season, then you need to check out the Creole, the not Creoles, the Cajuns. Their seasons heavily too much, too bold, too spicy, too. It's just too much for me. And so I don't too much care for their food types in Louisiana. You can, I mean, it is different food types if you don't know. It's different. The natives got their food types. All right. The Creole people got their food types. The Cajuns got their food types. There's also a subgroup of of swamp people. Swamp people were known. I have to look more into them, but I do know that some of them came to the city, but majority of them not. You will find them on the outskirts. Swamp people, they were the ones that was known to jump off the slave ships and escape in the swamps. Yeah, there's a population of swamp people, they call them bayou people, and they live in a bayou, the swamps. I don't know if their population is still there or whatever like that. I don't know, but when you drive through Louisiana, you do. When I was young, you come in contact with them. Okay, they were really dark skinned and they had a eerie, eerie, eeriness type of look. Anyways, um, let me see. Got the Creoles, the Bayou Swamps, uh, the Creole mixed family. Yeah, so it's heavily it's a heavily mixed population in Louisiana. Oh, and then after all that, you had the Haitians, the Creole Haitians came in after the war. One second. And you had a population of Cubans. You had a lot of people came in and added to that. All right. So it's a heavily mixed place when you get to breaking down a lot of stuff. Now, back to the Creole mixture family that the black woman started. They when they in the cities, because they live right around us, of course. When they in the when you bump into them, you're gonna see some people. Some of them still hold tight to that subculture. They didn't let go. Some of them still like, I'm only gonna be married and procreate with this kind of person, and that's fine. That's their little culture they made up. I don't see anything wrong with that. And then some of them was like, what the whatever, and they married outside of their subculture. They would marry other, other black people that wasn't of that culture. But again, during this time, it was already filled with racially mixed people. Do you follow? I hope y'all following what I'm saying, because this is it. When you get into the mixture of stuff and you gotta break it down, it be a little bit confusing. So some of them, once again, still hold tight to their subculture tradition of, I'm only gonna marry somebody that is of the same subculture as me, which is French and black, Negro. And then some of those people that come from that Creole mixture, family mixture, they not with it anymore. They like F it, and they just marry anybody they want to marry outside of that subculture. You see what I'm saying? That's how that goes. So they live all around us in Louisiana. They just mixed in our population. They not like living somewhere off on the outskirts or anything like that. No, they living right among us, next door to us and stuff. All right, and so we can clearly look at them and see they have a mixture, and some, for the most part, yeah, a lot of them. You can see they have a mixture. Some of them nowadays, because a lot of them was marrying outside of their subculture, you can't really tell now. Okay? So beforehand, you can look at some of them and be like, okay, these are, they call them LeBlanc something in New Orleans. LeBlanc or something like that. I forgot the word. And so anyways, um, they don't act no different than us. I don't know what the hell. And a lot of times, a lot of them, they have French last names, by the way. A lot of us have French last names. And so some of them you can't tell is, um, by looking at them, you can't really tell. And some of them that's clearly like light bright and might have light color eyes, you can tell, because they probably agreed to procreate with their own subculture. And some of them, they stopped doing that, and they was procreating with other people outside of their subculture. So when it comes to the Creole mixture people, mixture families, they're not just biracial looking people anymore. They're more, we call it Afro Creole. That's what we call it in Louisiana. Afro Creole. See what I'm saying? Because they have some dark ones that is of the Creole mixture family. But they're dark skinned. Okay? So that's how they go. You might see him, he looks biracial, and his baby brother, who was born by somebody outside the subculture, is darker. But they still brother and, from the same mother. Do you follow that? Yeah. So you get, in Louisiana, the families are all mixed up, baby. Oh, snap. I didn't know it was that late. The families are all mixed up, sweetie. And Yeah. So no, you cannot tell a, a Creole from that subculture these days. Some of them are dark skinned, very dark skinned too. Some of them are dark skinned because they came outside of their subculture and was marrying and procreating with other people. Okay, and some of them continued on their subculture where they, them people be in Louisiana, they be like, I'm black. Nobody walks around talking about I'm. Nobody is acting like they're better than somebody else because they racially ambiguous or mixed. It's not happening. When I was growing up there, that never saw such a thing. Never saw such a thing. Okay, so I've never seen them act as though they were better than us or none of that kind of stuff. Okay, it was just a subgroup that's a subculture that started. Okay, and to me, it's just like if, oh, it's just like the Hebrew brothers among us, right? Among the FBA's, Hebrew brothers started a subculture. That's a subculture. They do things differently than the average foundational black Americans, right? They started a subculture. It's the same as there's a lot of subcultures. The Gullah Geechees hold tight to their subculture. Who else? Seminoles hold tight to their subcultures. Some of the descendants of Cherokee and all that hold tight to their subcultures. Who else? The Creole mixture families of Louisiana hold tight to some of their. And some people will go, Beyonce and her mom is Creole. Okay, but you leaving out the dark skinned sister because in their eyes they don't see her as Creole because she's darker skin complexion. That's very important to bring her into the play because if you say Beyonce is Creole because of her complexion and her sister isn't, it's not making sense, baby. And plus in Louisiana, you got, in my family, we have all shades of people. My grandma was dark skinned with great blue eyes. Yes, the Cherokee native. Yes, her mother was light skinned with gray eyes. My mother and her siblings, their daddy was Creole too. They were light skinned, and my uncle has gray eyes. Sweetheart, it's a mixture of different complexions in Louisiana. Like you might get one family all different shades of people. Some got light eyes, some got green eyes. You just don't. And it's not something we even focus on out there. I don't know nobody who walk around Louisiana focusing on. Oh no, they got colorists now. I ain't saying they don't have colorists, but I'm saying we all just say we black. That's what I'm saying. That's the whole point of the conversation of Creole. We all just say we black. And no, I've never seen Creoles, and I've grown up around many of them. Never seen them act like they're better than us or none of that. None of that. So yeah, um, yeah. That's what I'm gonna say about that. To bicker over, to bicker over Creoles acting like they're better than. I don't even know where they get that kind of information from. Like, who the hell in New Orleans said that? They a whole lie. Ain't no the heavily populated mixed people in New Orleans they walk around saying they black, and you can clearly see they have a mixture in them. And the ones that's darker, they don't walk around and be like, "Oh, I'm Creole," even though I'm dark skinned. I'm about to be worried about all that. Okay, so now we know. Now we know from Chantell's perspective. I've never seen such a thing. I've never seen no Creoles act like they better. I ain't never seen nothing like that before. Like that's crazy. All right, so ooh, I'm at the 3 hour exact. Dang, I feel like I want to do this video over too because I went too long. But listen, listen. Um, it's important right now. It's very important right now not to. If you're talking delineation, that equals unity among FBAs. And if you're bickering about Creoles, if you're bickering about Creoles, um, thinking that they're better than us, which I don't know where you can get that, where you got that kind of information from. I've never experienced that in New Orleans. Um, and making it a thing, it's not it's not the time. It's not the time, and it's not even true. At that, it's not true. So yeah. What else I wanted to talk about? Yeah, I hate going into topics like that, mixed topics, because when you already know off the top that a lot of mixture is in a place, you can leave it alone from there unless you just feel like going deeper into people's subgroups. When I was looking into South Africa and I was reading about the cultures, how they heavily infused our culture into their culture, and they act like they don't know that that's our culture, like sneakerhead, all of our music genres, gospel, everything, church. I mean, them people copy us to the core. And then they were like, we ain't stealing your culture, you stole our culture. Girl, are you fucking serious? You rapping in Zulu. You nuts. But anyway, anyways, the slaves over there were not African slaves. Their slaves came from, you know, Madagascar and shit. Not Madagascar, but like India and Asia and stuff like that. And so their mixture is interesting. If you want to delve deep into it, that's But the thing I like about it is that they're very organized with it. They're way more organized than like Louisiana subcultures and stuff like that. They're way more organized. So when you talk about slave descendants in South Africa, they organized to the point where you're talking about this particular group of slave descendants because they came from different places. Are you talking about this particular group? This particular, they all organized under their group. They don't call each other just one big old mass of descendants of slaves. Mm-mm. They organized. And guess what? In their communities, they organized. Yeah. All of these ones live in their own community. All of this group of them slave descendants live in their community. I'm like, that's what's up. Very organized. When there's stuff like that going on, and to keep order and organize, to keep order, it needs to be organized, or else you get confusion. And that's what we're dealing with today as ethnic Black Americans. We're dealing with a lot of confusion because we allow other people to come in and identify as us, flat blackness, which causes mass confusion. which caused a problem because these people who were born here feel that they entitled to be our lineage, even though they not, they have immigrant descent. You see, it sounds crazy. It is crazy too, but yeah. So that's the difference right there. I think I talked about everything I wanted to talk about. I drank coffee, honey, about 2 hours ago. That's why I'm still up. I mean, I'm slowed down, like relaxed, but I'm still up because I drank coffee in the middle of the day. All right, let's get into let's get into this right quick. This is the last thing I'm gonna talk about. Listen, hold on. Yes, indeed, honey. Listen, move my paper around. I would think that everybody is asleep right now. Yeah, that grassroots organization lady, that was a trip. I was like, excuse, what the hell? All right, so let me say this right quick. I wanted to say this when I was talking about New Orleans earlier about I don't know what people be, everybody's different and they say New Orleans got whatever type of energy. I'm like, mm-hmm. Um, hold on, let me get to my topic. Matter of fact, I think I'll do that another time. That was a spiritual topic relating to my topic about New Orleans. It was a spiritual topic that I was gonna go into. But yeah, back to what I was saying though. New Orleans is wow. It's different. It's a different culture. Okay. So, um, to each his own. This is Miss Chantell's opinions and perspectives, and everybody have their own opinions and perspective of things. So it is what it is. I'm just giving you my perspective. Okay? Yeah. So give me a second. All right, yeah, I'll wrap it up right here because I think I touched upon everything that I wanted to talk about tonight. But thank you for tuning in. Well, I think everybody's asleep right now, but thank you for coming through and hit the thumbs up. Drop a comment. Let me know if you like the commentary, okay? Thank you and have a good night.